What's up, night viewer? Now, I know it's been a while since I did video. The reason for that is because things kind of picked up a lot quicker for me, so I had a lot of things to do and things to take care of. Anyway, the reason why I'm making this video is pretty much an incident happened where I'm calm now, but it actually pissed me off yesterday. But, pretty much, well, okay, everybody has a fear, and depending on what your fear is, it really takes a toll on who you are as a person. It can either make things beneficial, or it can make you very more limited to what you're able to do. Now, the way society will look at you, it really based on where you live and how you surround, pretty much who you surround yourself with. Now, there are some fears where it's like, for example, for me, I used to have a fear of heights. I no longer have that fear at all because well, I'll get into that. Pretty much it's like, things like fear of heights or fear of being in an elevator, fear of flying, those type of things. But then there are also fears that, like fear of hurting somebody or fear of losing someone. Those type of fears also exist as well. Again, it all depends on each person is different, how they handle it. I mean, you probably yourself has a certain fear. It may be understandable. Some of it may be weird and you might feel embarrassed to share. Which, again, don't feel too bad. But anyway, the way I look at fear is I don't just look at fear as, like a blockage or, a barricade on what you can do or what you can transpire to do. I look at fear as a challenge, whereas it's pretty much, it was put there to help you grow, to help you sort of see if you could overcome it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I used to have a fear of heights, and I did something pretty stupid, which I will pretty much preference right now. Please do not do what I did. If you have a fear of heights, do not, granted it helped me, but at the same time, you can put yourself at risk. Now, what happened was, a couple years back, well, pretty much way back, when I did have fear of heights, I was hanging out with my friend, and he was introducing me with, people that he hang out with. Now, one individual actually worked in a mattress making factory, where they make mattresses, beds, not like, they put stuff together. They legitimately work on the springs, putting the cushioning, quilt, everything. I mean, they build these things from scratch. And he worked in a manufacturing company to do that. Well, every now and then, they'll come across a mattress or a bed that does not meet quality standards or the quality control. Meaning that there was a defect in some of the spring, even though it was built together. They're still good sturdy beds, but it doesn't meet the quota as to what the actual sellers want. So what they do is they put them over in the defects to either get dismantled or they'll just give them away, pretty much, Like, okay, you know what, here, if anybody want this mattress, yeah, it has this problem, that problem, but if you want it, take it, whatever. Now, this guy grabbed a couple mattresses, and when I say, yeah, he showed it to me and a group of others. It was like, like I wouldn't say it was a party. It was more like a, hey, let's get together and chill. So, like I said, I was meeting new people at the same time, so it was kind of fun. Then, once he was talking about occupation, he pulled out the mattresses that he got. When you're around that many people, ideas comes like, we did a little wrestling, but it was mattresses, so it was fine. Then, all of a sudden, he decided to pile them up, and he goes, hey, let's jump off the top of the house and land on the mattress. And I know what you guys are already saying, like, that's crazy. And again, it was. Because I was scared of heights and I wasn't going to partake in it. I was like, you know what? Y'all can go ahead, do your little crazy thing, get out your system, whatever. I'm just gonna stand here and watch. And if something happens where it's hilarious, I'm gonna laugh because I was stupid and crazy. Now here's the thing though. On his house, he has like I wouldn't say it's a balcony, but he has like a little opening where you can walk out and literally walk up. It's like it's part of the roofing, but it's more like, you know, slant down. It's kind of like a balcony, but it's not really a balcony. You know, there's no railings or anything. You're still on the top part of the house. So, and it was like a pretty decent angle. They did the proper measurements and everything, and I'm just like standing there like, yeah, whatever. So, what happened? Their version of jump is to sit down and push themselves off, and even though they landed on a mattress, what was agitating me was the fact that they said they wanted to jump. And granted, to me, realistically, that's not jumping. You're just pushing yourself off. But they keep saying, you know, everybody was having fun. They were doing it, and they was like, oh, this is great, jumping and everything. And I'm like, no, that's not jumping. Like, intellectually, it was bothering me, like mentally, because I was like, that's not jump. And they kept doing it, and they kept saying, oh, who wants the next turn to jump? You know, who wants to jump? And I'm like, that's not jumping. And it agitated me to the point where one of them was like, well, why don't you jump? You know, since you're trying to, you know, correct everybody and everything. And I was already agitated, like I said. And I was like, you know what? Fine. So I went in the house, I walked up the stairs, and I got on top of the balcony thingy. And then I looked down, and that's when it was like, okay, for those of you that has fear of heights, you guys understand this feeling. I had this very weird tingling feeling where it was like, whoa. Like, you know, it was like, you know, you just look down and all of a sudden you feel really uneasy, like a little bit lightheaded, it's just really queasy, and I'm like, whoa, you know, it's like, you know what I mean, it was just like as if I was like, and I heard somebody go, it's okay, all you gotta do is sit down and push yourself off, and that snapped me out of it, because I looked over and I was like, that is not jumping, and they was like, well, jump then. So, out of, you know, agitation and frustration, I jumped. The moment my feet left the roof, let's say the common sense kicked into me and goes, what did you just do? And I was like, because at this point, all of a sudden, everything felt like it was slow motion. Because that's when I realized I'm going to die. So, I'm in the air, and all of a sudden I just feel this gush of wind. And I just quickly extended my leg out in a seating, like as if I'm doing a leg drop, pretty much. And I landed perfectly on the mattress, like dead center. And I was actually happy because A, I proved that, you know, yeah, that's how you jump. And B, I can't believe I actually did it. It was ridiculously crazy. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing it, but I did it. You know, it was like, wow. Then, the thing about mattresses is they have these things called springs, and when the kinetic energy help compress those springs, they want to, you know, decompress. They want to expand up. And depending on the energy level and everything, yeah. Remember I hit the dead center part of the mattress? Well, it shot me back up, and I ended up in the house on their porch. I actually literally went over their railing, and I landed on their sofa, which good thing it was there, and all you can see were my legs sticking up in the air. Everybody was laughing, including myself, but yeah. But like I said, I mean, sometimes there are some challenges that I understand that you don't want to face, like, you know, taking another life or a loss of somebody or, you know, anything like that. But there are some fears that is literally there to be a challenge. Now, the reason why I mentioned about being angered yesterday was because I have a friend of mine who legit has a fear of driving, but at the same time, it's like I don't really think of it as it's a fear. I think of it as he's trying to play victim. And that's one of the things that sort of get me pissed off, because, like, there are some people that legit has some fears. Like, there are people out there that has fear of driving. For some reason, it's like maybe an incident happened, a trauma happened. What supposedly caused his trauma is he was reversing the car. He was at a gas station. He was reversing really slow, and he hit a pipe. I mean, not a pipe. He hit a pole, but it wasn't like a major damage, like boom, crash or anything. Like I said, he was going really slow. He made a little dent, scratched a little paint. He took it to the mechanic, and the mechanic took like 2 minutes to just, get the bump out, repaint it, buffed it out, and he was like, there. He even said it was for free because it was literally such a minor, implication on the car that it was like, it wasn't even worth it. So, but supposedly that caused him to have a dramatic trauma where it sparked fear into him to have fear of driving. Honestly, I'm starting to believe that he's using that so-called fear to play victim for attention. And that's where I have to draw the line. That's why I got angered yesterday. It's one thing to have fear. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, sometimes fear is more of a challenge to help you grow. Something to help you, make a leap or a steep over to accomplish something. That's why it's there. That's why it's like, yeah, you're afraid to reach that next level, but it's more of a growth thing. And it also meant to be conquered. But for each individual, it's different. So, but then there comes a time where it's like I said, I hate when people, number one, okay, first of all, he asked me to help him drive. Now, because we live far, I was like, you know what, let me call my group of friends that know him, that's also his friends, to help him teach him drive. And I didn't know that they went through this process with him as well, where he was like, oh yeah, I want to drive. And then all of a sudden, when it come time to, like, put up or shut up, so to speak, where it's not like they were challenging him or pushing him, hard. They was like, oh, okay, no problem. Let's schedule a day. I'll let you drive my car. I'll, coach you. And, they really want to help. And he'd be like, no, I really don't know. I'm really messed up. The driving that's my biggest fear. And it's like, okay, and the thing about me is, like I said, I don't like it when people waste my time. And again, I didn't know that they went through this, so it took me hours to finally talk him into saying, yeah, they'll help. And like I said, I was not aware about this until yesterday, when I'm like, all right, dude, I talked to, this person and that person. They said they're down to help you out, blah, 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 this and that. And, because he said he wanted to be driving by summer or learn to drive in the summer. And summer is literally like around the corner. And all of a sudden he pulled that, you know what, maybe I shouldn't. It's my biggest fear, giving me excuses. And I even called him out on it. I was like, dude, you're the one that came to me asking for help. And then that's when I realized, you know what? And that legit pissed me off. Like, I was like, you know what? He just wasted my time. And that's one of the things I don't like, when people waste my time. But what makes it even more stupid, what angered me more, is the fact that he's trying to play the victim of his fear to get attention. I now realize that now, after talking to my friend, that also was, that I spent hours trying to talk into helping him. They was like, dude, he went through the same thing with us. And that's pretty much how we broke it down to. So, pretty much the main conclusion of this video is, yeah, there are some fears that is really a good, that's fear, like, you can't mess with. But then you can't always look at every fear as something to limit you. Some of those fears are actually meant to be challenges to help you grow. Alright then, later.